Hi, today I'm going to be making some pumpkin pudding. And I got inspired to make this recipe when I realized that the pudding boxes that you might buy at the grocery store, the pumpkin one didn't have any pumpkin in it and had red and yellow food coloring to make it orange. So I thought we could do better. So this pumpkin pudding recipe uses some nice whole ingredients, just a few of them, and it's a really delicious dessert. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with 1.5 cups of milk. This is 2% milk. You can use whatever milk you have in your house. If you're using a non-dairy milk and it's sweetened, I would cut the sugar down, maybe cut it in half and see how it is for you. So we've got our milk in the pan. Now we need 1/2 cup of pureed pumpkin. If you are interested in making the pumpkin muffin recipes on the channel, it's a great way to use a whole can because that uses like 3/4 of the can and this uses the rest. So that's what I did, and this is the rest of my pumpkin. Okay, 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just using plain white sugar. You could use, I guess, whatever sweetener you like to use in your house. You could use maple syrup if you want, or honey, or just regular sugar works. Next ingredient is cornstarch. So we need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. This is going to help thicken it up. And then we need our spices. So 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. If you don't have pumpkin pie spice, you can use a combination of cinnamon, ginger, some cloves. I've also made it just with cinnamon and it was great as well. So use what you have on hand. Pumpkin pie spice contains cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and cloves. So if you have those, you can just do a little combination to be about 1/2 teaspoon. Or if you just have cinnamon, put that in. It'll be great. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a little pinch of salt in. Just kind of balances the sweetness in there. All right, so let's get our pan on here. And just, it really works well to use a whisk here. So get your whisk in here and mix everything together. This can be a nice recipe for kids to get involved in. Usually putting a oven mitt on their hand just in case you're working with a gas burner, if it gets warm, that can help. If you use electric or something like this, they're going to probably be perfectly fine without it getting hot. All right, so this is nicely mixed up. We're just going to let it start heating up. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes to come to a boil and then start thickening. It really thickens very quickly once it's simmering or at a boil. So just keep an eye on it. I would keep mixing every minute or so just to make sure it's not getting stuck to the bottom. So this is starting to come up to a simmer. I can see some bubbles in the middle and it's starting to thicken. And it's been on here for about 4 to 5 minutes. Again, it depends on what stove you're using and how quickly it heats up. But you'll see it once it starts to boil, it really starts to thicken quite quickly. So just keep stirring until it's evenly thickened. It smells delicious. All right, I'm going to call that done. So you'll see here, it's nice and thick. And then if you don't have small dishes, you can just put the pudding in some sort of container, whatever you want to put it in the fridge or however you want to serve it. But I like to put it in these little kind of 1/2 cup dishes. It just makes little single serving options, and then they're ready for whoever wants them. So if you like pumpkin pie and you like pudding, I think you're really going to like this recipe. Kind of combines the two. It's really cozy and tasty. And then you're getting some good nutrition in here too. You've got the nutrients and fiber from that pumpkin. You've got the calcium and the protein from your milk. You've got the good kind of vitamins we get from spices. I think sometimes we can forget about the nutrient value of spices. They really do offer some great options. So maybe get a spoon in here and kind of clean out your pan, but it also could be good to lick as well if you enjoy that part of it. So I tend to get usually about 5 of these. You might get 4 depending on the size of them. But these are delicious. It's good warm. You can also put in the fridge for a couple of days. And they're also good cold as well. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you give this recipe a try. And again, if you have the rest of that can of pumpkin, go try those pumpkin muffin the pumpkin muffin recipe because those are delicious as well. Thanks.